Guys, The House on Haunted Hill is a brand new Netflix.
That is not the name.
Oh really? Oh shit. What's it called?
We're just gonna keep on doing this till you figure it out.
Guys, The Haunted House on the Hill. Guys, The Haunting of the House of the Hill is a
Negative.
Guys, The Hill House Haunting is a brand
It's a big no for me, dog.
All this alliteration has gotten me fucked up. Guys, The Haunting of Hill House was created by Mike Flanagan. He's created movies like Hush, Oculus, Gerald's Game. All three movies I'm pretty sure on Netflix right now, and all three movies pretty damn good. Say what you want about Oculus, sure, it's a stupid movie, but it's a movie about a mirror that eats people's souls, alright? It's way better than it should have been. Shit should have ended up on the goddamn Sci-Fi Channel. And yet Mike Flanagan comes in and somewhat pulls it off. And for this series, he knocks this shit out of the park. Guys, this series is about a family who lived in a haunted house, and throughout this first season, we're just figuring out what happened at the house and how the family dealt with it. Guys, I'm gonna let you know right off the bat that the first episode is the scariest episode. Don't go into this series expecting to be scared throughout all 10 episodes. It's because the whole season is 10 hours long, and after the first hour or two, you know, your senses kind of just get numb to all this ghost shit. And that's not a gripe, that's not a complaint, I'm just letting you guys know. But with that being said, the show itself, it's pretty good. I think what I like about this series the best is that it doesn't give you all the answers in the beginning. You know, you're watching the first episode and things are happening, and you kind of just start to assume things in your mind. You're like, oh, well, this is how the story's gonna go. But then you get to episode 5 with the crooked neck lady, and shit gets real. There's a bit of a predictable twist in this episode, but the way they reveal the twist is so good because once it happens, it's all up in your face. You're processing all this information while the twist is happening in front of you, and you're just like, oh shit, which is some very solid stuff. One thing that I really do love about the series is how they told the story. Like, they kind of did that non-linear storytelling, kind of like Pulp Fiction, where they're like showing you stuff here, showing you stuff here, and then in the end, it all comes together. Which I think works really well for TV shows, not just this TV show specifically, but just TV shows in general. Because for me personally, it just keeps me invested the whole time. You know, there's this mystery going on, but they're not giving away all the answers, so it keeps me invested throughout all 10 hours. And what makes it work really well for this show is that in each episode, I think maybe for like the first 5 or 6 episodes, it shows how the haunted house has affected each character as kids and also as adults. It gives us a chance to see this house from each character's perspective, so we get to understand more why everybody's so fucked up when they're adults. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of the show, is that they give us enough context and background so that when we get to the final episode, we're still not all just confused like, what the fuck is going on? Because there's a lot of time jumping going on in here. And time jumping only works if you have a clear and concise story. For example, like the second season of Westworld, like there was so much time jumping going on that when I got to the final episode, I'm like, dude, I have no idea where we are or when we are in this timeline. But this show does a really good job. I think there is maybe one point in this series where they're like 6 weeks ago, and then like 5 minutes later, they'll be like 2 days earlier. So I'm like, is this 2 days earlier from 6 weeks ago, or is this 2 days earlier from where we are? I'm not really sure, but they wrap it up real nicely, so again, not a complaint. Another thing that I really love, which was one of my favorite parts about this series, was that Mike Flanagan, he hid a whole bunch of hidden ghosts inside the series, kind of like Easter eggs. And quite frankly, I didn't even notice any of them until like episode 7. They find a dead body in the wall, and then the camera cuts to a side angle of the dad, and right behind him, you could straight just see a ghost face just grilling his ass, and it scared the shit out of me because I wasn't expecting it. And from that point on, I was strictly looking in the background for the rest of the series because I was like, that is some solid shit. And once you see one, you're gonna start noticing them like crazy. I went back through the series to see how many I could find, and they are just riddled all throughout the series. And now that I'm done kissing the show's ass, I'm gonna shit on it for a second. Guys, for some reason there's one dad, but he's cast as 2 actors in this show, and I get why. You know, there's 2 different timelines, so you know, there's the young dad and there's the old dad. But quite frankly, I think it was a little bit of a stupid call to make 2 different actors the same character. Now, I do like what they did with his character because when he's young dad, you know, he's full of life, he's joyful, and he just wants what's best for his family. But we get to old dad, and he's broken and he's alone, which works perfectly for the series. But if you would have used the same actor, just put some old makeup on him, something. If they would have used the same actor, I would have that emotional connection, be like, damn, that's how far he's fallen. But the first time we see old dad, we're just like, who the fuck is this nigga? And it really just takes a lot of the emotion out of the final episode for me, because there's 2 different dads. There's joyful dad and then there's broken dad, and we all like the joyful dad, which could have worked, but it's 2 different actors, so they just seem like 2 completely different people. It seems like one broken guy in the future and a happy guy in the past. Like they don't mesh well together at all. So when you get to this final emotional scene with broken dad, you really don't give a shit. At least I didn't. And if I'm being honest here, the ending is a little bit corny. Like, I couldn't help just feel like, this is some cheesy shit. But aside from those two gripes, it's a pretty good series. You know, the acting is really good, the story's really good, the cinematography, especially in episode, I think it was 6 or 7, I swear to God, it's some of the best shit I've ever seen. There may be 3 shots in the whole entire episode, because each scene, he does it in one take. The choreography behind the camera is just absolutely stupid, because they went through the whole entire house, up the stairs, down the stairs, through hallways. They did everything, all in one take. All in one. It's absolutely crazy. Watch this episode. Shit, I have to figure out which episode it is. Okay, it's episode 6. The cinematography, absolutely out of this world. Guys, The Haunting of Hill House is an A-. Like I said, great acting, great cinematography, couple really good scares in there, really good story, just a weak-ass ending and a bad choice with the dad actors, and those are my only 2 gripes. Alright guys, head on down to Liquid Vapor for your e-cigarette needs. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the shits. Thanks for watching. Bye.